This is News 3 Now at 6.
Well, thanks for joining us. A dry forecast tonight, but we do have alert days headed our way for storms and possible heavy rain. Let's check your first warning forecast. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Gary?
That'll be from late tomorrow afternoon through tomorrow night and into Wednesday. As we take a look at visible cloud track, notice how clear the skies are across Wisconsin. The clouds that are coming in from the south are actually the leading edge of the clouds from Tropical Depression Cristobal back in Arkansas. But as that air sinks, it dries out and warms up. Now, tomorrow it'll be more humid, and we could see some isolated severe thunderstorms with tornadoes and high winds, the main threat across southern Wisconsin. A flash flood watch has already been issued west of a Platteville to Lone Rock to Wisconsin Dells line for tomorrow afternoon through tomorrow evening. Temperatures right now are in the upper 80s to around 90. Janesville at 90, Madison 89, Mineral Point at 88. But the dew point temperatures are only in the 40s and 50s where the air is sinking over southern Wisconsin. The air is more humid out toward the La Crosse area. So the heat index is actually less than the temperature. And that sinking air is also trapping pollutants near the ground. And air quality advisories in effect until 11 p.m. for high concentrations of ozone from the Madison area eastward toward Milwaukee. Otherwise, look for skies to become partly cloudy overnight. Temperatures will drop in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms developing late in the day. Much of the day will be dry. High temperature at 85, but some of those storms could bring heavy rain and the potential for some severe weather. I'll have more details in weather in a few minutes.
Gary, thank you. A final farewell today for George Floyd, 2 weeks after he died in Minneapolis police custody. Mourners, including members of law enforcement, filed past Floyd's casket, paying their respects at a public viewing in Houston where he grew up.
The American public is responding to this murder in a way that validates human life. Everyone has stopped and paused and said, can we make this one the last one?
Former Vice President Joe Biden and Texas Governor Greg Abbott both met privately with Floyd's family and offered their condolences. An invitation-only memorial service and private burial for Floyd will be held in Houston tomorrow. Attorneys for ex-Minneapolis officer Derek Chauvin did not contest increased bail for their client during his first court appearance today via video conference. The judge kept Chauvin's bail at $1 million. It was raised from $500,000 last week when prosecutors added a charge of second-degree murder. Chauvin, who pressed his knee into Floyd's neck for nearly 9 minutes, said almost nothing during the 11-minute hearing. What happened in Minnesota is making other police departments look at their own use of force policies. Amy Reed live now to explain how local departments stack up to one national idea. Amy?
A popular movement for police reform is called 8 Can't Wait. This is 8 policies spearheaded by Campaign Zero. They all restrict a police department's use of force, from banning chokeholds to requiring a warning before shooting to a duty to intervene if an officer sees another using excessive force. I spoke to some departments around here, and they said these policies are largely in place, some even from a state level. But an issue departments run into is making sure the job doesn't become more dangerous for their officers. The biggest police union in the state said this makes some of the total bans difficult.
Obviously, there are instances in which that simply isn't possible, and that's because of actions of individuals to threaten the lives of a police officer or a member of the public.
Still, departments I spoke to said they're going over their policies now. Even if they mostly are in line with these recommendations, they want to make sure it's written clearly so officers will respond appropriately. Most also told me that they are open to ideas from the community, particularly when it comes to training, which is where departments can make sure that no matter the situation, the policies are implemented correctly.
Amy Reed live tonight. Amy, thank you. New video now of the front doors of the Dane County Courthouse that an employee says were smashed over the weekend. A window above the main doors also had a hole in it. Police say there was no indication that anyone entered the courthouse. The local organization Urban Triage, which has led some of the protests over the last week, hosted a panel today to talk about the city's plan to hire an independent police auditor and create a civilian police oversight body. Years ago, after the death of Tony Robinson, an ad hoc committee was created that recommended these steps. The auditor would have the power to investigate police use of force following brutality incidents, recommend an officer's discipline, monitor internal investigations, and even sue the police department.
If somebody was a complainant who brought that complaint forward, the auditor would have the power to appoint an attorney for that person to go before the PFC, because right now the system doesn't work at all. Like, it's completely asymmetric. The cop has an attorney, from the union, well represented. The complainant has typically no representation. If they can find a pro bono attorney, they'll be lucky.
Urban Triage is concerned the person hired for the job won't actually be independent and could end up just trying to make the city look good. They fear Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway will try to strip the auditor and the Civilian Oversight Board of some of its power, but say this is a step in the right direction. News 3 Now will have continuing coverage of what's happening in Madison, calling for justice for George Floyd, and on the continuing conversation about changing the way police departments operate. A reminder, you can get breaking news updates at Channel 3000 and on our Channel 3000 mobile app. To our coronavirus headlines, state health officials report 2/3 of people with confirmed cases have now fully recovered. There were no new deaths reported in the state today. In total, there are more than 21,000 positive cases. Just over 6,000 of those cases are currently active. And today, 2.7% of new cases came back positive. We are still seeing a downward trajectory of positive cases over the past 2 weeks. Now, Dane County public health officials released a new update to their forward Dane plan metrics. We're seeing the same results as last week. 6 out of 9 getting the green markings. We are not meeting the goal, and only 4 new cases in the county per day, or having more than 80% of people know where they got COVID-19. We have a red marking for the benchmark of at least 85% of all new cases being contacted within 48 hours of being tested. Right now, 62% of people are learning test results within 48 hours. Last week, public health officials told us they do not have the data to support moving into phase 2 just yet. Public Health Madison-Dane County needs to have supporting metrics from 2 full weeks of data from phase 1. That 2-week period ends tomorrow. Officials hope to have data compiled and analyzed soon to inform any decisions about whether to move forward. America's largest water park will be open for the season on June 20th, Noah's Ark. Officials there say they put safety measures in place to help combat the spread of COVID-19. They're limiting capacity, doing pre-entry temperature checks, and putting in sanitizing stations. According to a news release, the entire park, in addition, each individual attraction, like pools and rides, will have a limited capacity. Guests have to pre-purchase their tickets or season pass and RSVP on the day they'd like to visit. Walk-up tickets, we want to remind you, at Noah's Ark are unavailable this year. DHS officials announced today that more people can qualify to get help through the Emergency Food Assistance Program. They say households with incomes below 300% of the federal poverty level can receive a monthly share of food, including meat, vegetables, fruit. The income threshold for a household of 1 person, $38,280 compared to the previous threshold of $23,606. To learn more about how you can enroll and to find a food pantry near you, call the United Way's statewide 211 helpline. Madison Central Business Improvement District is conducting a survey among State Street businesses to determine if they'll return following months of challenges. Our Gabriella Becerra joins us live from State Street to share what responses they've seen. Gabby?
Eric, out of the 152 businesses here on State Street, 100 have shared their concerns about surviving following the coronavirus pandemic and recent property damage. One restaurant owner says they're becoming more resourceful to keep business going. Jason's job bought Mediterranean Cafe just 2 weeks before the coronavirus pandemic began.
Only 30% of the revenue like before.
Ja says right as business returned to normal, people started damaging property on State Street.
And our employer is very nervous and even they crying. They said, oh, how things gonna go like this.
Now Ja is evaluating the future of what his business might look like.
That is my concern right now, because we are planning to open longer before, and so it depends on the situation right now, because the coronavirus pandemic plus the protest, people is worried about walking the street.
He's not alone. Madison Central Business Improvement District Executive Director Tiffany Kenny says many State Street businesses are in flux.
And so I'm seeing some scare, some feelings that businesses are not going to reopen.
Kenny says recent unrest on State Street is only one of the challenges the businesses face this year.
But getting through 10 weeks of the COVID crisis after a really cold winter where State Street's not that busy in January anyway, that's really more the factors that are weighing on our small businesses.
In a couple weeks' time, Kenny says they will have a better idea of what State Street might look like. Kenny says the community has really come together to raise money for businesses that suffered damages last week, but also the artists that have turned State Street into a walking art museum.
All right, Gabriella Becerra live on State Street. Gabby, thank you. A conservative law firm is asking the Wisconsin Elections Commission to outlaw a process where outside groups help to send or return large numbers of absentee ballots. The request by the Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty to ban ballot harvesting in the battleground state is a precursor to a possible lawsuit in the ongoing fight over the push to increase mail-in voting during the pandemic. The coronavirus has inspired school districts, teachers, and parents across the country to come up with creative ways to celebrate graduating seniors. This weekend, News 3 Now is hosting commencement ceremonies for Madison public high schools. This Friday and Saturday, 5 Madison schools will have commencements broadcast on News 3 Now and streaming online live on channel3000.com. They'll feature photos of graduating seniors plus messages from principals, students, and keynote speakers. You can find a schedule for when your student's school ceremony will be held at channel3000.com. Next at 6, people from all backgrounds and ages are getting involved in Black Lives Matter protests. We'll share how elementary schoolers in Wanakee are showing their support when we come back.
You are watching News 3 Now at 6.
Whatever your water worry, Culligan Water can help. From value-priced softeners to the world's best and even salt-free. No one has more solutions than Culligan to customize the best filtration for your home. The only water that comes with a van. Contact Culligan, the local water experts.
At Papa Murphy's, we knead seriously, chop seriously, and shred seriously. Because we're serious about Tuesdays, even if you're not. Every Tuesday, get a large pizza for just $10. Papa Murphy's. Change the way you pizza.
It's time to get serious about your lawn. It's time to step up to the best mower brand money can buy. For nearly 4 decades, Skag has been the easy choice for lawn care professionals. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best when it comes to mowing your lawn. There's sure to be a Skag model that's perfect for your yard, big or small. Make your lawn the envy of the neighborhood.
Power Centers of Madison. Visit powercentersofmadison.com.
We've got the power! Seeing the joy that people feel when they share a meal with family and friends, that's why we do this. The laughter of kids around the table, the thrill of families driving through for a treat, the delight of not having to cook, and instead letting us safely serve you. It all comes back to taking care of each other. And for that, we'll be here with your favorites and always a smile.
Now get your groceries even faster with Hy-Vee Aisles Online same-day pickup. Just choose the Get It Faster option and pick up your groceries in as little as 2 hours. Plus, now we've added more time slots so you can get your groceries when you need them. You'll find the freshest items, favorite brands, and the same great deals as in-store. Get free pickup on orders over $30 and no contact pickup and delivery. Download the Hy-Vee Grocery app today and pick up groceries from Hy-Vee in as little as 2 hours.
The Dane County Medical Examiner has identified the 2 people who died in a West Madison house fire last week. 32-year-old Brent Brogy of Madison was found dead at the scene, and 21-year-old Kayani Braxton of Janesville was taken to the hospital and died shortly after arrival. 2 others were hospitalized. The cause of the fire on Seminole Highway remains under investigation. Police say the suspect who shot an 18-year-old on Madison's east side last night was shooting from a silver vehicle. It happened outside the mobile gas station on East Wash near Highway 30. Police say the victim is in stable condition at the hospital. Anyone with information is asked to call Madison Area Crime Stoppers. The sole finalist for the UW System President position is set to undergo a grueling day of interviews tomorrow. University of Alaska System President Jim Johnson will meet with UW's Presidential Search Committee, take questions from campus stakeholders, and finally interview with the Board of Regents. Johnson's the only finalist to replace outgoing President Ray Cross after all the other finalists withdrew over concerns if they were identified as finalists, they'd lose the ability to fight the coronavirus in their current positions. Well, we've seen a lot of demonstrations around the area of people showing their support for the Black Lives Matter movement. A couple of elementary school kids in Wanakee are joining the cause in their own way. Jamie Perez shares how they are standing up for what they believe in.
I'm out here holding a sign because all the cops, I've been watching videos of them hurting people.
For the past 5 days, 9-year-old Jaden Lomas has been standing out on South Century Avenue in Wanakee fighting for justice.
Kind of sad that it's happening.
But like many movements happening across the country, he's been met with some backlash from some.
I was holding the sign and a couple people yelled no and they're throwing cans.
He said most people have been supportive, honking by in support as they pass. Sometimes others join him.
I saw George Floyd's death on TV, and I was like, you know what, that isn't fair. So I would prefer to be on the news than just staying home and yell at the TV screen.
Mariana Faust is in 3rd grade. She goes to the same school as Jaden, but the two didn't really know each other before she saw him standing out here. And now they're joining forces by standing up for what they believe in together.
I think that it's good that people are doing that so we can have equality.
Jaden said he's going to be out here until it starts getting nicer and as more friends and strangers join the cause. They're hopeful that their small act can bring people together, like Jaden and his signs already have.
So we can all be friends.
In Wanakee, I'm Jamie Perez. News 3 Now.
Jaden also said complete strangers who see him out there sometimes bring him snacks and drinks and even more pens and markers to make more signs. Coming up next in sports, Badger football and volleyball players preparing to get back to practice. Sports Director Zach Hanley shares the precautions the athletics department is taking against COVID-19. And alert days in the forecast for heavy rain, possible severe thunderstorms. Gary has your first warn forecast next.
You are watching News 3 Now at 6.
When the doctor said Mama wasn't going to get better, I didn't know what to do. I've never been through this before, and I'm not ready. My brothers want to help, but how? I keep thinking, how will we get through this?
A Grace will help with kind, capable caregivers at your door who know how to handle the tough moments ahead. A Grace, hospice and palliative care. When you don't know where to turn, call us. A Grace will help.
I want to have $1 million when I retire. Oh, great goal. So where do I start?
Well, first you set up automatic transfers into savings. That can add up pretty quickly.
For me, working on putting $1,000 into an emergency fund got me in a good saving habit.
Already on it.
Then put together a plan to get rid of debt and maximize your investments. You know, Summit helped me do.
Oh, that's great. I love how Summit gives people the knowledge and confidence to go after their goals. It's your money. Own it. Summit Credit Union.
Now you can shop for food and shoes at the grocery store. Introducing DSW now at Hy-Vee. You'll find summer styles for the whole family. And right now, all DSW shoes at Hy-Vee stores are 50% off. And we've got hundreds of thousands of shoes on sale. Get 50% off all women's shoes, 50% off all men's shoes, and 50% off all kids' shoes. Check out DSW at Hy-Vee and get 50% off all shoes.
Feldco season is here, and the signs are all around us. Like free installation on all windows, siding, and doors, and no interest for 1 year. It's time to jump on that home renovation project, and free installation all from the comfort of home. That gives you time to make the most of your Feldco season.
Free installation ends soon. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
It's here, Slumberland's huge clearance event. You do not want to miss this one. Massive markdowns all over. Closeouts, floor samples, one-of-a-kind items, crazy low prices like sofas as low as $278, this gorgeous bed on closeout for only $148, or this classic sectional for just $799. Plus, get totally free doorstep shipping. No contact, no minimum. Hurry into our huge clearance event and save. Only at Slumberland Furniture.
After a warm and dry day today, our attention turns to the remnants or the depression tropical storm of tropical storm Cristobal. That is currently located over the central portion of Arkansas, located just to the south of Little Rock, and that's heading toward the north. And I'll show you the track in just a minute. But what's of interest are these bands of thunderstorms that kind of rotate around the main area of low pressure. This is what we call a warm core system. Normally when we see low pressure systems in the mid-latitudes, they have cold air aloft, they have warm air near the ground. That's what makes the air unstable and causes thunderstorms to develop. Tropical weather systems are warm all the way throughout. So there's no fronts really to speak of here until this merges with a weather system to the north. And so these bands of thunderstorms rotate from basically the eastern part of the storm to the northern part. There's the possibility for some isolated tornadoes to develop tomorrow. What's interesting is that they do occur a lot of times in this situation. These tornadoes actually move from southeast to northwest, kind of opposite the way that we normally see them in our part of the country. So that does bear some watching. If we do have a tornado threat tomorrow, again, it's possible these storms might come in from a different direction than you normally would be expecting. But here's the forecast for the remnants of Cristobal as it heads northward through Missouri by early tomorrow morning, and then by tomorrow evening approaches southwestern Wisconsin. Again, most of southern Wisconsin will be on the front edge of this, so those thunderstorm bands will be coming in from the southeast. Notice the maximum sustained winds, about 30 miles per hour, so there could be some strong wind gusts as well in any thunderstorm that develops. Then you can see the whole system continues off to the north and east and eventually gets into central Canada as it merges with another weather system. The wind speeds actually increase at that time. But we have alert days in the forecast for tomorrow and Wednesday for not only the severe weather threat, but also for heavy rain that could linger into Wednesday. At least the two-day rainfall totals could be in the 1 to 3 inch range. Right now, nothing across southern Wisconsin. Very dry. The air flowing out ahead of the remnants of Cristobal are actually sinking and causing the air to dry out. But tomorrow, as it becomes more humid, you can see the severe weather threat, a marginal risk of isolated severe thunderstorms. But again, some of those risks could entail the possibility for isolated tornadoes as well as strong winds. But notice the hail threat. Almost nothing because it's got warm air aloft. It's too warm for hail to develop in the mid-levels of the storm. But because the air is loaded with moisture, you get a lot of rainfall. And near the center of that track, there could be some amounts of 2 to 4 inches, generally about 1 inch to 1.5 inches over much of southern Wisconsin. That band could move one way or another a little bit, and that could affect who gets the heaviest rain. But the upper level winds are now from south to north, so it's going to take the remnants of Cristobal northward right into Wisconsin. Hot and humid weather to the west. We're warm and dry here with temperatures around 90, but with lower humidity. In fact, if you take a look at the current temperatures, they're well into the 90s, mid-90s as far north as the Twin Cities, generally upper 80s here. But notice the dew point temperatures, lower 50s over southeastern Wisconsin. It's more humid out to the west of us. So the humidity will get here just about the same time the remnants of Cristobal reach us. So as we look at our forecast, a flash flood watch in effect from 1 p.m. tomorrow afternoon until 7 a.m. Wednesday morning west of Lone Rock. And there's also an air quality advisory for high levels of ozone until 11 p.m. tonight for Madison and areas to the east. Tomorrow's high 85, thunderstorms developing late in the day. You can see this on future track. By morning, they start moving in from the south by late afternoon, move through tomorrow evening, and then kind of wind down later tomorrow night. But again, they could bring heavy rain, the potential for some severe weather. And those rainfall amounts, especially out to the west, could be in the 1 to 3 inch range. 7 to 10 day forecast, the air dries out. We see a pleasant spell of weather through the weekend. We warm up next week, but the weather generally should stay dry.
And coming up in sports, the Badgers are back. Kinda. What these next 2 weeks look like for EW football and volleyball next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Get more help with your laundry at the laundry cleanup sale now at the Brothers Maine. Save time and money with the latest in laundry from Whirlpool, Maytag, and Amana. Maine means more with free delivery on washer-dryer pairs and our risk-free 30-day price and satisfaction guarantee, so you'll be 100% confident with your purchase. That's why we're the More Store. It's the laundry cleanup sale with more selection, more savings, and more help with your laundry. Only at the Brothers Maine, your local store for more since 1938.
Here's to all the farm and fleet dads, the ones who get the job done right, the ones who work hard and take pride in what they do, the ones who take the time to pass it on. Show your appreciation this Father's Day with a gift you know he'll love from his favorite store, Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Like this Milwaukee drill driver kit, only $159. Half off this screwdriver set with rack, $16.99. And for Dad's best friend, save $3 on Purina Pro Plan dog food. Plus, a Blaine's Farm and Fleet gift card is always the perfect gift.
Have you ever met Miss Lindy? She's a gal with the bright red hair. Now she stands out from all the rest. You know her anywhere. Where she's mine. Yeah, she's mine. My Miss Lindy. She's my Lindy. My only Lindy.
Power Centers of Madison. Visit powercentersofmadison.com.
We've got the power!
Good morning, class. Today's lesson is about shop and local. Do you know what day is coming up?
608 Day. You just go to MadisonMagazine.com, click on 608 Day to find great deals from businesses we love in the 608. You know, like the area code.
Very good, Emmy. When does this take place?
The week of June 8th, 608. Madison Magazine makes it easy to shop local.
She's my star student.
After a sunny and hot start to the week, we're talking about some big changes in the forecast. Hattie's tracking 2 alert days as the remnants of a tropical system could bring heavy rainfall across southern Wisconsin. We're on the air at 4:30 with the latest storm track.
News 3 Now is partnering with the Madison School District to provide its high school seniors with special commencement ceremonies. Class of 2020, born to make history. June 12th and 13th on News 3 Now and streamed live on Channel 3000.
This week, the Badger football and volleyball teams will be back on campus to get a physical and COVID-19 testing. If all goes well in that phase, then the 2 programs will start their strength and conditioning programs on Monday. The Badgers will be tested and have their temperature taken before every workout, and then they'll work out in groups of 10 with 1 strength coach per group. The men's and women's basketball and hockey teams will return to campus later this month. The NFL has issued its own protocols for their players to return to team facilities. The big ones: meetings must be done virtually when possible. Locker rooms will be spaced out for players to be 6 feet apart. Masks are required to be worn except when they interfere with athletic activities. And helmets, shoulder pads, and other equipment will be disinfected after each game. Jordy Nelson is headed to the Hall. The former Packer will be inducted into the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame on October 4th. Nelson spent 10 of his 11 seasons with Green Bay, where he won a Super Bowl. He finished his career with nearly 8,600 receiving yards and 72 touchdowns. And Coach Ryan is back in Wisconsin, but no, we're not talking about Bo. He's still retired. I'm talking about his son, Will, UW Green Bay's new head men's basketball coach. Last season was Ryan's first as a head coach, where he led Wheeling, a Division II school, to a 14-13 record. And like any dad would say, Bo Ryan is honored that his son is following in his footsteps. But watching Will coach, well, that's another story for the former Badger head coach.
My wife was putting the games, she was streaming the games on the computer. I averaged walking away from the computer 30 times a game. Can't watch it. No, Will, you need to do this. You need to get that kid out of there. You need to do, but he can't hear me. Yeah, it is really hard to watch your kids coach.
So Bo now sounds like his dad, who couldn't watch him coach because he was used to walk around the concourse. Right?
Yeah, it's tough. Can you imagine having to please Bo being as a young
that's
coach?
Too much pressure.
That'd be tough. He's got to zone him out. Don't call home after games. Let's go to Gary. Final check.
Yeah, we'll have to watch out for the potential for some heavy rain tomorrow, especially for areas west of Madison where a flash flood watch is in effect.
All right, thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6. We'll see you back here tonight at 10. Have a good evening.